Ever feel like you know a lot about the world? Well, get ready to have your mind blown, because today we're diving into 20 incredible facts that sound too wild to be true, but they absolutely are. From space mysteries to bizarre history, stick around because you won't want to miss number 7. Number 1. The sun's core is incredibly hot. The sun, our very own giant nuclear reactor, has a core temperature of about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than a nuclear explosion, and about 4,000 times hotter than the sun's surface. This extreme heat is caused by nuclear fusion, where hydrogen atoms are crushed together under enormous pressure to form helium. Without this process, the sun wouldn't produce light or heat, and life on Earth wouldn't exist. So next time you enjoy a sunny day, just remember, our sun is literally a giant fireball of nuclear energy, constantly burning at unimaginable temperatures. Number 2. The moon is drifting away from Earth. The moon is slowly saying goodbye to Earth. Every year it moves about 1 inches away. That might not sound like much, but over millions of years, it adds up. Scientists estimate that in the distant future, total solar eclipses will no longer be possible because the moon will appear too small to fully cover the sun. This lunar drift is caused by Earth's tides, which create a gravitational interaction that gradually pushes the moon farther out. It's a slow but steady breakup, and one day our night sky might look very different. Number 3. A teaspoon of a neutron star is insanely heavy. Imagine holding 6 billion tons in the palm of your hand. That's how much just 1 teaspoon of a neutron star would weigh. Neutron stars are the incredibly dense remnants of massive stars that have exploded in supernovae. Their gravity is so intense that atoms collapse, squeezing protons and electrons together to form pure neutrons. If you could somehow bring a chunk of a neutron star to Earth, it would instantly sink straight through the planet and keep going, because nothing could support its extreme weight. Number 4. A cloud can weigh over 1 million pounds. Clouds may look light and fluffy, but don't let their delicate appearance fool you. The average cumulus cloud, the type you see on a nice sunny day, weighs around 1.1 million pounds. That's as much as 200 elephants. So why don't clouds fall out of the sky? It's because they're made of tiny water droplets spread out over a huge area, and the upward movement of warm air keeps them floating. It's basically a giant floating reservoir of water just drifting above our heads. Number 5. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. Dolphins are famous for their ability to hold their breath, usually for about 10 minutes. But sloths? These slow-moving tree dwellers can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes. They do this by slowing their heart rate dramatically, which reduces their need for oxygen. This ability helps them avoid predators in the wild because sloths often swim across rivers, and staying submerged for long periods makes them harder to detect. Number 6. Your stomach is replaced every few days. Did you know that your stomach is constantly regenerating? The lining of your stomach completely replaces itself every 3 to 4 days. This is because the digestive acids in your stomach are so strong that without this renewal, your body would literally digest itself. That's right. Your stomach is essentially dissolving food with acids so powerful that it can break down meat, bones, and even some metals. Thankfully, our body is smart enough to protect itself by constantly creating new stomach cells before the old ones are destroyed. Number 7. Cleopatra lived closer to the iPhone than the pyramids. Think the pyramids and Cleopatra existed around the same time. Think again. Cleopatra, the last active ruler of ancient Egypt, lived around 30 BC. Meanwhile, the Great Pyramid of Giza was built in 2500 BC. That means Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone in 2007 than she did to the construction of the pyramids. It's a mind-boggling reminder of how ancient some parts of history really are. Number 8. Vikings used bones to ice skate. Vikings didn't have the luxury of modern ice skates, so instead they used bones from cows and horses to glide across frozen lakes and rivers. They would sharpen the bones, strap them to their feet, and push themselves forward using wooden sticks. It was an early form of ice skating, and it helped them move efficiently during their harsh winters. Number 9. The first computer mouse was made of wood. Back in 1964, the first ever computer mouse was invented, not with plastic, but wood. Douglas Engelbart, the inventor, created a box-like device with a single button, which would later evolve into the sleek, ergonomic designs we use today. Just imagine trying to navigate your computer with a chunk of wood. Number 10. The @ symbol is over 500 years old. Long before emails, the @ symbol was used by monks in the Middle Ages as shorthand for the Latin word ad, meaning at or toward. It was later adopted by computers in the 1970s, becoming the symbol we now associate with emails and social media. Number 11. The world's most expensive coffee is made from elephant dung. You might think your morning coffee is fancy, but it's got nothing on black ivory coffee. This rare and incredibly expensive coffee is made using elephant digestion. That's right. Elephants in Thailand are fed high-quality Arabica coffee beans, and after going through their digestive system, the beans are collected from their dung, cleaned and processed into coffee. The digestive process removes bitterness and enhances the coffee's flavor, making it one of the smoothest and priciest coffees in the world. A single pound of this coffee can cost over $500. Number 12. The Dead Sea is so salty you can float effortlessly. The Dead Sea, located between Jordan and Israel, is one of the saltiest bodies of water on Earth, with a salt concentration about 10 times higher than normal seawater. This extreme salinity makes it nearly impossible for most life forms to survive, hence the name Dead Sea. But the high salt content also makes the water incredibly dense, allowing people to float on the surface effortlessly. It's like nature's own flotation device, no swimming skills required. Number 13. The world's largest desert is Antarctica. When you think of deserts, you probably picture endless sand dunes and scorching heat, right? Well, guess what? The largest desert in the world isn't the Sahara, it's Antarctica. A desert isn't defined by heat, but by lack of precipitation, and Antarctica is the driest, coldest and windiest place on Earth. In some regions, it hasn't rained or snowed for nearly 2 million years. Even though it's covered in ice, it meets all the criteria of a desert. Number 14. The longest time between twin births is 87 days. You'd think twins are always born within minutes of each other, but one incredible case proved that wrong. In 2012, a woman in Ireland gave birth to her first twin nearly 3 months before her second. The first baby was born prematurely at just 23 weeks, but doctors were able to delay the birth of the second twin until 87 days later, giving the baby a better chance of survival. This set the record for the longest gap between twin births ever recorded. Number 15. The fear of cooking is called gyrocophobia. Ever get nervous about cooking? Well, some people have an actual phobia of it. Gyrocophobia is the intense fear of cooking, which can range from mild anxiety about preparing meals to a full-blown panic attack at the thought of using a stove or handling food. Some people fear burning food, while others are afraid of cutting themselves or making people sick. In extreme cases, it can make cooking completely impossible, leading people to rely on takeout or pre-packaged meals. Number 16. Apples float. Because they're 25% air. Ever wondered why apples always float in water? It's because about a quarter of an apple's volume is made up of air pockets. This is the same reason why apples are great for bobbing contests. They naturally stay on the surface. These air pockets also help keep apples fresh for longer, as they reduce moisture buildup and slow down decay. So next time you see an apple bobbing in water, you'll know it's not magic, it's just science. Number 17. The Sahara Desert is expanding every year. The Sahara Desert, the hottest desert in the world, is growing by about 1% every year. That may not sound like much, but in the past century, the desert has expanded by over 250,000 square miles, roughly the size of Texas. This is happening due to climate change and deforestation, as higher temperatures and poor land management cause fertile areas to dry up and turn into desert. If this trend continues, the Sahara could eventually take over parts of Africa that were once rich farmland. Number 18. Canada has more lakes than the rest of the world combined. If you love lakes, Canada is the place to be. The country is home to over 879,000 lakes, which is more than every other country in the world combined. In fact, Canada's lakes make up about 9% of the entire planet's freshwater supply. The largest of them, Lake Superior, is so massive that it holds more water than all the other Great Lakes combined. It's safe to say that Canada is the undisputed champion of freshwater lakes. Number 19. The longest hiccup spree lasted 68 years. Having hiccups for a few minutes can be annoying, but imagine having them for 68 years. That's exactly what happened to Charles Osborne, an American man who started hiccuping in 1922 and didn't stop until 1990. Over his lifetime, he hiccuped an estimated 430 million times. Doctors were never able to cure him, but strangely, his hiccups stopped on their own 1 year before he passed away. Talk about an unwanted world record. Number 20. The world's oldest chewing gum is over 9,000 years old. If you think chewing gum is a modern invention, think again. Archaeologists have discovered chewing gum dating back over 9,000 years, made from birch bark tar. This ancient gum was used by Stone Age people not just for chewing, but also for medicinal purposes and as glue. Scientists even found teeth marks in some of these ancient gum pieces, proving that people were chewing long before modern-day bubble gum was invented. Conclusion. And there you have it. 20 unbelievable facts that will change the way you see the world. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you love learning new things, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another mind-blowing video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.